Welcome to Jacuzzi Time with Mikey Jacuzzi. Rough day yesterday, obviously. I'm sure if anybody watched my post, you could tell. Feeling much better today, though, thankfully. Anyway, just today I ended up going up to Ogilvy and did some hiking, took some pictures of, you know, the stream and a couple of waterfalls, and I love taking pictures. I'm not sure why. I guess, just so I have that memory that I was there and, you know, the photo is mine. But yeah, I went up to Ogilvy and I was thinking about, like, back when I was in high school. I was dating some girl from Wheeling Central, and we used to go up to the fountain, like, all the time in the summer. They would light it up and have like a light show with music and stuff, and it was a pretty cool experience. I'm not even sure if they do that anymore, but there used to be a lot of people. I mean, people would take up blankets and, lay on the hillside and watch the fountain and the light show and stuff. Just brought back that memory while I was up there, and I went on a couple trails and followed a creek for a good ways and saw a couple cool waterfalls. So did my nature thing today. Yeah, and I was thinking yesterday, in fact, I was talking about when I got engaged, and that was a couple years ago. I'd been dating this girl for, I think it was 2 years to the day that I proposed, but the way I did it was pretty cool, you know. Um, we always went to, like, Las Vegas and Atlantic City and places like that because I like to gamble. And we were going to see Pauly D from MTV. Oh, I can't even think of the name of the show, but when we first started dating, Haley and I, she got me into that show on MTV, and I can't even think of the name right now. But anyway, it's off the air. You know what? Might as well look it up while I'm here, because now I'm curious. But let's see. So yeah, let me get back to the story. Anyway, we were going to see Pauly D and the Jersey Shore. Anyway, I got into Jersey Shore when I started dating her and watched every episode all the time, rewatched many back and forth. Um, but he was performing at the Pool After Dark at Harrah's Casino in Atlantic City, and I bought the tickets, and then it was like, all right, I'm gonna try to do something special here, to propose. And I talked with the general manager of Harrah's, the Pool After Dark, and messaged him back and forth many, many times. And what I was trying to do was propose on stage to her in front of all these people, and the place holds 10,000 people. So, there was a lot of people there. um, but anyway, I ended up getting it locked in to where I could propose on stage. They just couldn't guarantee me that it was when Pauly D was going to be on. But he said we can do it before, we can do it after, whatever, hopefully during, because I really wanted to do it on stage with Pauly D, because, I loved him on Jersey Shore. And anyway, I ended up buying the ring, spent 10 grand on an engagement ring, and Yeah, see where that gets me. The single life. But anyway, the day of, I remember talking with the general manager, and he said due to contractual obligations, I couldn't do it when Pauly D was going to be on stage. So he asked me, do I want to do it before? Do I want to do it after? And we were kind of beat, so it was like, let's do it before because I didn't really want to stay for the whole show. Um, so anyway, we get inside, and I'm like, I gotta go get a couple drinks. Well, we got a couple like when we first got in, but then I was like, I need another beer. So I told her, I said, just stay here, and I ended up like sneaking all the way to the other side of the pool and talking to some security, and they got me in touch with the general manager, and then the assistant came over, and he was like, um, how do you want to do this, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, I think if I tell her that we're going to go backstage to meet Pauly D, she'll be really excited. She won't think anything is going to happen. Meanwhile, I'm petrified. It's like this is one of the biggest days of my life. And yeah, so me and him ended up walking over to where she was, and then you know he told her, "Hey, we're going to take you two backstage," and um, yeah. So anyway, we get up to the stage, and DJ Vito G was the DJ at the time, and cool guy. I ended up becoming friends with him on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and we messaged back and forth a couple of times after that. Um, but yeah, I'll never forget that day just because it was one of the biggest days of my life. Finally ready to settle down with somebody, and I'm gonna make it official today. So yeah, I think it was like September 14th. It was a Friday night, but it was like going into Saturday the 15th, and it was after midnight. So it was technically our 2 year anniversary. And before, when we first started dating, she said, you've got 2 years to, you know, propose to me, which she backtracked that after we got together and stuff, so it wasn't like I was under pressure to do it, but I wanted to do it, I was ready to commit, and, so anyway, we start walking up onto the stage, and I don't know if she really got the hint right away, but the DJ ended up handing me the microphone, and then I got down on my knee and proposed. And, you know, I guess that day it was like, I really felt like she was the one, and I really felt like it was going to work because she just broke down and started crying. And I'll never forget that, just because it was like, if some girl was going to cry when you ask them to marry them, then they have a lot of love for you, and things like that. And you know, it was it was a cool experience. Getting down on my knee with the microphone and telling her how I felt, and when I popped the question, I was nervous. Obviously, there's 10,000 fucking people in this place all hanging out, waiting for Pauly D to come on stage. So I still remember, like, there were a bunch of girls that were like front row, and they were like, when they saw how big the ring was, they're like, "You did great." And yeah, so that was the story of my engagement, and unfortunately, things didn't work out with her, but you know, it was a cool experience. So just one of my memories. I want to try to share as many memories of my life as I can with everybody. So, you know, you know me better, and who knows, maybe the one will message me one day, and and then I'll really be able to get married this time. But one of the things, like when we were starting to plan for the wedding, our song was going to be "All of Me" by John Legend, and I started emailing, his people because I wanted to I wanted to get him to come to the wedding reception and play that song, as our first dance song. And I know it would have cost probably 15 or 20 grand to do that, but I wanted to make it special. That's the kind of guy I am. It has to be My life has to be over the top, you know. But I guess I'm glad it didn't. We ended up. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say that because things happen for a reason. So yeah, I'm just sitting here with my buddy today, and I was helping my uncle put together a privacy fence out back, and I'm kind of beat right now. I'm trying to decide what do I want to do. Do I want to take a nap or get caught up on some of my shows? I watched a bunch of shows last night. I think I went to bed at like 4 or 5 o'clock this morning and back up by 9. So yeah, best dog in the world. So yeah, I don't even know what I'm gonna do the rest of the week. You know, I think I'm gonna just find places to go. I went up to Ogilvy today and did a lot of exploring and saw some places I'd never seen before. So that was pretty cool because I used to go up there all the time. But yeah, I'm in a much better place today, and ask me tomorrow, and it may be completely different. But I think tomorrow I'm committed to trying to find a good place to go hiking and exploring and stuff. I just went up to Ogilvy today because I knew my uncle was getting home around 4, so I wanted to be back in time to help him, and I didn't want to be too far away. But tomorrow, who knows where the hell I'm going to end up. Just one of those things. You just go, and I might do some research tonight, try to figure out where I want to go and what I want to do. But it has to involve hiking and taking pictures and getting some exercise in. So that's my story for today. So I'm going to cut this off, and I will see you guys on the flip side.